where are my feet? That's a foot there, isn't it? So I'll put that there. Oh, hello, it's Jane here. It's July. It's actually July, and I meant to do this video a few weeks ago, so I do apologise that it's running a bit late, but what I want to do today is answer a list of questions that I've been given by some of the lovely subscribers over on the Facebook group, because I said a couple of weeks ago, you know, the video this week is just going to be about answering your questions, so fire away. And I had some lovely questions, and then life took a turn and it didn't get done. So today I am going to tackle those questions, and hopefully the answers will make sense. And at the very least, hopefully you'll understand what I'm saying, and they might just be useful to you as well. So let's get on. Okay, here's my list. Super high tech. And one of the first questions is from Rebecca from over at Mornings at the Allotment. And she's asking for an update on the melons, which if you don't know by now, why on earth aren't you joining in with the fantastic Transatlantic Melon Challenge? So what better place to start than to get you in the polytunnel and show you what's going on. Okay, guess the melon. Go on. If you're not taking part in the challenge, you may not know that one of the melons we recommend that you try is the Sugar Baby watermelon. And this is one of mine. Of course, I'm showing you the best one. What I'm not showing you is, where's my finger there? Just behind this one, there was another one planted in the open ground, I'll call it, and that's just disappeared. It's just gone. Not even dead leaves or anything. It's just like completely disappeared. So yeah, this one is looking okay. I'll just take you off the stand 1 second. Okay, if we look towards the leading stem, you can see it's got tendrils here, and really it's a case of anything that shoots out these tendrils. Once they actually start wrapping around, I'm not sure which way melon tendrils go. I know beans is anti-clockwise, not sure about melon, so I don't want to force it to go the wrong way. Yeah, but once it takes hold, it's got to really starts to get going then. So I've got a lovely bud there, which is probably a leaf bud, but never mind. And somebody asked if I'm actually going to side shoot them at all. Well, if we look on here, it hasn't really come up as yet, so let me show you. Yeah, I hope you can see this. If you look here, you've got the main stem, then you've got the main leaf here, and then almost just like tomatoes really, you've got this side shoot here. And in this case, I am just going, same on the other side, I'm going to nip those off so that I'm going to be sending the strength up the stem to help it climb a little bit more, and then I will stop doing that when it gets to the required height, which to be honest I'm not quite sure how far I'm going to let it grow, because I've got this arch here for it to grow up. But yeah, I think with the climbing ones I am going to take the side shoots out and just let the energy go into the lead stem. However, let me show you the other side. This melon here is on the other side of the arch, but if we look behind it, this one hasn't been nabbed yet. So this one, I am not going to side shoot it. I am just going to let that sprawl. And we'll see if there's any difference. I mean, already this one isn't quite as vigorous as the climbing one, and it's got no tendrils on yet. I know that they were about the same size when I put them in. So yeah, I'm going to leave that one to bush more so it just scrambles everywhere. But certainly the ones, these ones at the front here, I'll take the side shoots out and we'll see how we go. And at the other end we've got the I was going to say much smaller plants, but actually they're just as vigorous. These are the Minnesota midgets, the cantaloupe melons, and I'm going to do the same with these. Yeah, I'm going to side shoot these ones and let them climb up, so concentrate on the height, but the ones behind I'm going to leave to scramble. And you can see they are looking pretty healthy. So not as big as some of the ones I've seen on the Facebook group and Instagram. Some of those people out there have actually got melons, but I live in hope. What else can you do, eh? And this is for Kathy. Now, I do apologise, Kathy, it's probably a bit too late to help you now, because you were wondering then if it was too late to put out your sweet corn. I think it probably is now. But these went out at the beginning of June. And actually, they haven't taken off completely, but they're growing slow and steady. So I'm quite pleased with those. So yeah, if you have got some, if you've got any tiny seedlings and you're worrying about putting them out, just put them out anyway. You've got nothing to lose, and we do not know what the weather's going to do. We might have a really, really long summer and plenty of warmth and sunshine ahead. So yeah, always worth putting them in. Laura has asked about companion planting and what I particularly suggest, what I would do again, what I always put in. And I've got to say, I know I'm not alone in this, my number one companion plant is the calendula. And once you've planted it 1 year, it just sells. These are all self-seeders. It self-seeds everywhere the next year, so it's really low maintenance. It brings in tons of pollinators. I'm looking around as I'm saying it, there's not one blooming bee, is there? But it does, believe me, as does the lavender behind it. And of course you can use it for all sorts of different things. The flowers are edible. It's just such a beautiful plant to have around. But the main thing for me for that is attracting the pollinators. So my companion planting, one of the reasons, bring the bees and all the other really beneficial insects in. And the other reason, let me take you over, is to try and benefit your crops, your trees, your fruit, your whatever, by keeping away disease. Now, when we moved onto this plot, this tree, it's absolutely beautiful apples, but it was very, very old. It's had quite a lot of pruning, needs a lot more over the last few years, but it was also riddled with apple scab. So after a little bit of research, I mean, this all looks very sorry for itself now because it's gone past its best. We will have another flush. But at the bottom here, you can see through the borage, again, borage, leave it to get on with its job, brings all the pollinators in, but we have got chives. And chives is another great one, supposedly to keep away apple scab. Again, just gets on with itself. Pollinators are drawn toward it. They love that purple colour, don't they? And yeah, it's been a perfect little hedge, like a little guard of honour around my apple tree, helping it keep scab free. And if we look up at the apple tree itself, there's a few blemishes, but really it's pretty clean. And the apples, by the time we come to harvest them, I know they will be pretty clean as well. So yeah, think about the different reasons you want to plant your companions. That one can come off. Let that one grow. And I think this next little picture demonstrates my answer to Annette's question, which was, do I feel like we're behind with the garden this year or in front? And to me, when the beans here are only that size, I'm always a bit worried. I'm always thinking, there's always someone else on the allotments who's got theirs right up to the top of the poles by now. And I'm always thinking, why aren't mine up there? But having done this for quite a while now, I know that they will catch up. I might not have the first harvest of beans, but they're going to be okay. And I think really, I'm sure many of you will agree, round about June is the time where we do start to worry about the fact that we've got a lot to do, we've got a lot of catching up to do. But I think for me this year, yeah, I feel like we're pretty much on top of it. Although saying that, The reason I was showing the left was because I've got huge gaps on the right hand side which I still haven't filled in. Yeah, and then there's the parsnips, but I'll come to those in a moment. Okay, then we had Linda asking about the sowing by the phases of the moon, which I must admit I haven't stuck to religiously this year because of other outside things going on. It hasn't been forefront of things I've got to do. But if I show you these peas, these were sown by Neil Wilson over at Neil Wilson's No Dig Allotment. Take a look on his Facebook group. He's also got a YouTube channel I'll put up. Believes in no dig. Years and years of experience of using traditional ways of growing. He sowed them during a waxing phase and then very kindly donated the plants to me, and I planted them. When was it? Oh, I can't remember. It was I can't remember. It was the waxing phase of April. I think it was like mid-April I planted them out. And these peas, okay, it's dying off now because we're in July, but these have been some of the best peas we have ever had. I'm going to show you the pods themselves. I know they're just pea pods and you'll say, yeah, that's just a pea pod, Jane, but they are just really regular. They are packed full. They have been such, I can't open it. I can't open it. They are unopenable pods. Oh look, I haven't done that very well, have I? Look at that. Can you see that? There we go. Every pod has been, well, bigger than that really, lots of them, but it has been the most reliable cropper, or the most reliable crop of peas we've ever had. So thank you so much to Neil. But to me, that, I mean, I can see loads here. I'm going to have to give them a good pick today. I can see loads coming. They have just been brilliant. So to me, that is a real success, and I will definitely be using moon planting to do my peas again. Well, I'm saying next year there'll be some more peas going in this year, so but I'll have to wait for the waxing phase. I think we're in a wane at the moment, but never mind. But saying that, let me show you the parsnips. Yep, this is the first lot of parsnips I planted, and I did plant them in the wrong phase. I planted them in the waxing phase to see what would happen, and you can see what happened. Nothing at all. Not one parsnip. Okay, so I tried again in a different patch during the waning phase. And this is what happened to those ones. Again, nothing at all. So I'm afraid we might be out of parsnips this year, but no. I have got some that I sowed in modules that are ready to plant out, so it might be a bit late, but I'll bung them in anyway. But yeah, I can't blame the phases of the moon for that. I think it was probably just bad seed. It's following me around. Okay, this next bit is just for you, Danny, because there's been several times now when you've said to me that you would love to have a really good nose around the shed at the top of the plot, and I've always completely avoided any sort of filming in there whatsoever because it is basically a dumping ground. But Mike has got big ideas for it, so I've told him I'm going to let him explain to you what's going on and what his future plans are. And as I speak, he's panicking like mad in the background here with a brush, so I'm going to turn the camera around and show you what he's got to say.
Well, what we've actually done with this shed probably over the last 2 years is use it as a massive dumping ground. It's at the top end of the plot. Yeah, it's at the top end of the plot. Just had a little tidy up.
Yeah.
So I've chucked out about 5 bin bags worth of stuff in preparation for this little part of your show. It's a single story double room dwelling which we're hoping to rebuild into a sort of a more kind of purposeful shed. We didn't build any part of this.
Are you going to show us inside, Mike?
Please come inside.
I've just tripped over the...
I can't say it's HQ, it's not really.
Oh God, what am I standing on? Yeah, it's a bit precarious. Okay, so hold on.
So here we have the left wing of the shed.
Yeah,
if you'd like to turn and just see this, and this is where we keep our bins for the poultry, so poultry food and other sundries. So it's a collection of things that have just been left by the previous occupant.
It's
and then
storage, isn't it?
Yeah, just rolls of fencing and all sorts of stuff.
That's where I keep my broom.
Come through the main vestibule.
And then into here.
So this is, again, it's just a big old sort of slightly ramshackle chunk of shed. We use the left-hand side to store bean canes on and plant pots and things like that. Although most of the stuff we use day to day is actually down the bottom end of the allotment. So again, it's a little bit of a wood pile, a little bit of a wood store. It's a little bit of a tool store. It's got a lot of benching here, but the benching is all higgledy-piggledy, up and down all over the place. You can see this is mesh corner. So mesh tends to gravitate towards this corner currently, and wood corner is over here. So little bits of wood stashed around on this side and a strimmer. Then over here, we've got two inherited filing cabinets, which we saved from the tip, which are going to be where the tools, which are going to be sorted out properly here, and the suntan lotion and the filler. And all the other little bits and pieces are going to go into here beautifully, seamlessly. Yeah, everything labelled, everything in its place.
It's good to have this on record, but you know what is so beautiful about this shed though? Just look at the view.
We've got a beautiful little view of the orchard.
With the little orchard here, yeah. And the new little bit that I haven't shown you properly yet, but yeah, it's got potential, hasn't it, Mike? It's
got the potential to be knocked down and rebuilt into a much, much better shed.
Would you like people to make suggestions as to what they can do?
Yes, if anybody wants to submit any drawings for a really, really good shed, it might be something we can action over the summer. I've got some very, very good help from a chap that I work with called Mark, who's very, very good with his hands. He's a proper skilled carpenter, and I'm going to ask him to see if he can come and help me a little bit over the summer. I think long term we'd like to maybe build it out a little bit. It's got lovely light, it's really nice and secluded here, and I think I would like to have it as a little bit of a potting shed / studio. So I'd like to come up here and draw sometimes. I mean, it obviously can't be like a permanent workspace because it's an allotment, but it would be a good place to just, you know, maybe spend an hour or two drawing. It'd be great for that. All these wonderful natural forms all around us, and of course chickens, and of course Rocky. So no end of great content. Your lovely self too.
Okay, I'm sure it will come as no surprise whatsoever that this is my favourite place at the moment at the plot, because what's better than sitting under the trees? I mean, this buddleia is coming into flower now, so that's going to be cloaked in butterflies. We've got the apple tree there, I'm looking out on flowers, and of course I've got the chickens over there and a chicken on my knee. So this pretty much is my chill out corner, which is really lovely, especially when the neighbours join us and we have a little bit of gin and tonic. That's always very nice. But Mike, I'm interested in what you think. We were asked, Rue's asked this, and I think it's a really good question. I probably shouldn't just be firing it at you because I think it does take some thought, but least favourite and most favourite parts of the plot?
I think my least favourite part of the plot would be the pathways where you're kind of on the edges of the plot. So where you've been cutting hawthorns and holly and things like that.
The hedges, yeah.
The hedges, and then the sort of the kind of the borders, really.
Yeah.
Because it's just a constant state of having to tidy it up and sort of scoop things up and tidy things up, and they do get a bit neglected. So they're probably my least favourite spots. You won't find me hanging around in those little walkways.
No. Well, I just tend to try and ignore them, and that's where we are very lucky, in that we have our very own hedge trimmer here, so I don't have to venture that far, really, do I?
No.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. I think if we did do the paths again, would we have grass paths, or would we go for the wood chip? I don't know. I don't know what I'd do. What would you recommend if someone's just starting up their allotment? Grass or wood chip? What do you think? Put it in the comments below if you've got an opinion.
I think if you've got the money, because it does cost a bit of money unless you're really lucky. If you can put some sort of membrane down, preferably not that stuff that just kind of turns into little bits of black plastic stringy bits everywhere. Yeah. But something that sort of suppresses the weeds, that you can put a really good, decent, thick layer of reasonable quality wood chips on top. I think that's pretty good.
And think about the maintenance of it as well, because I'm going completely off topic here. I do apologise. I know a lot of places you can have wood chips delivered free from a tree surgeon, and they'll just dump them by your plot. And it's up to you to barrow them all to your plot. But with us being at the bottom of such a long lane, they have to drop it right at the top. We have had it done before.
We've had it dropped before.
And it saved a lot of money, but it didn't have to take time to get it done. So
I prefer wood chip to carpet. Old carpet, just because carpet just harbours slugs and it gets really stringy and really messy.
And usually it's been treated with some sort of chemical as well.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, if money's no object at all, then
that's bringing me on to the next question. But before we do,
okay,
most favourite.
Most favourite. I like it up here, and I like to sit up here and have like a nice cool drink at the end of the day when it's a hot day. So this is a lovely little space to be. I like also the little greenhouse at the bottom end, where the aubergine are currently in the cucumber. It's just a nice kind of like not too hot space. I don't know why I like it.
No, it's a strange one.
I think it's because we've always got something interesting growing in there, like for example the grapevine, which is fascinating to me.
It's gone crazy.
And the cucumbers, and we've got tomatoes there, and we've got coriander and things like that there.
Yeah.
So it's just an interesting spot.
Are you in agreement with me? Actually, I think we both are, that this is our favourite spot.
This is probably our favourite spot.
It's sociable, it's quite secluded, we've got lovely views, and the chickens. So, Mike, if money wasn't any object, and this is for you, Ali, if money was no object, what would you change? Not about your life, because we know what the answer to that one would be. But about the allotment. I found that hard. I found that really hard.
I think if money was no object, I think I'd probably convert a little part of the bottom end of the plot to a great big compost bin. Maybe a few compost bins, and also one for composted green waste. So you always had a really good supply of that, because when you're making no-dig beds, it would just be great to have that stuff on tap. I think I'd really like that. Or I'd like Charles Dowding to just come along with a team of people and just do it all for us.
Yeah. I was going to say, if money was no object, though, isn't that a bit sad that all you can think of is compost bins?
Well, I'm not really...
Black gold!
You know what?
Black gold, isn't it, really?
I think...
Homemade compost.
I must be a reasonably happy person, because I'm not thinking about fancy greenhouses, and I'm not thinking about expensive paving or water features or anything like that. I'm just thinking about...
Tell you what I'd like.
Nice beds,
do you know
low maintenance.
Do you know what I'd like?
What would you
like?
like?
It's not really an allotment thing, but you were shown us your shed.
Go on.
It'd be lovely to have that done, wouldn't it?
Oh, the shed.
Have that done as, I don't know, so that it was watertight and, just somewhere you could go and relax but still use it.
I've changed...
Maybe have it as a really good place to store things. So store your potatoes and your beetroot and all your root crops. Have like a proper storage bit in it.
So what's happened here is Jane has sort of turned my head a little bit now. And now I'm thinking, yes, a lovely little shed / studio / wood store.
Yeah, with a wood stove.
/ library.
With a wood stove.
With a wood burning stove in there. That would be amazing.
Little sofa for a nap. It'd be nice. But none of it would go mouldy.
No, it would be very dry.
It would be very dry, and I think that'd be nice.
But if that happens one day, I'll be very happy.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't happen, I'm still happy.
Saying that, though, I wouldn't mind just a few parsnips coming up. That'd be quite good.
We've got very few parsnips.
Showing our parsnip area. We've maybe got 6 in little modules that I will plant. But there we go. I
think what's more important than sowing by the phases of the moon is just sowing them in a good spot. Wait and keep an eye on them.
No, I was saying about the peas, though. How well they've done this year. They're the best we've ever had, aren't they?
Yeah, they're great.
That was all moon sown. Oh, what I didn't show you, actually, the lettuces on the arch. They are fabulous, and they were sown and transplanted in the waxing phase. And again, it might just be the seed, but they are fantastic. This is what I've got to put up with. They are fantastic lettuce. So yeah, I hope that's answered your questions. I have got round to it eventually. I hope they're still relevant, and I hope some of them may have struck a chord with you. You know, maybe you should go away and... Here's a good one for you to put in the comments. Ali's question: if money was no object, what would you change about your allotment? That's a good one. So yeah, let me know in the comments below. If not, come along to the Facebook group, come along to Instagram. Please subscribe if you haven't done already. What have they got to do, Mike?
Hit the like button, subscribe, and all those other things that YouTubers always say.
Yeah, that's it really.
Is that right?
I'm supposed to. I probably am supposed to say the things.
Smash that like button.
Smash it. Let's go.
Yeah. Let's get to this number of thousands.
Oh, all that.
Yeah.
Anyway, lovely to catch up, and hopefully things will be returning to normal very soon. I'll see you soon. Bye for now.